You say, the evil one is prince of this world. Yet somehow, his fingerprints stop at scripture? I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm saying I can't call myself honest if I refuse to ask the question.
Books like isolated documentation I see accumulated, authors surviving different civilizations, human hands preserving revelation through translation, meaning sacred truth still travel through corrupted institutions. And maybe that's uncomfortable because people crave certainty, stable, want divine transmission untouched by human nature. But history itself leaves fingerprints on every structure, even movements built sincerely mutate under pressure. I'm not attacking faith, I'm questioning architecture, questioning how power interacts with spiritual literature, how fear survives inside organizational infrastructure, how shame and guilt become behavioral instruments. And honestly, I understand why the church moves carefully, because emotional tools cut deeply, and not every nervous system survives intensity equally.
Different audiences, different thresholds, different pathways toward reflection. Some people need comfort,
some need confrontation.
I can use conviction, shame, symbolic mirrors, because my audience volunteered for friction. But churches carry different responsibility, because language can heal a soul or psychologically fracture it completely. You call it manipulation, I call it emotional architecture. Every movement in history shaped itself through pressure. Politics, religion, media, culture, all of them understand symbolic leverage. That don't automatically make them evil, that makes them human. And maybe that's the part nobody wants admitted, because people prefer purity, myths over complicated systems, prefer absolute certainty over recursive contradiction, prefer good versus evil over overlapping human intention. But poets don't get that luxury, we stare directly into paradox and still try translating it honestly.
Maybe scripture remained untouched, maybe it didn't. Maybe divine truth survived despite human interference, instead of avoiding it entirely.
And maybe that's why Christ spoke through parables, not control. Invitation, letting people judge themselves internally rather than forcing ideological compliance externally. Because conviction chosen voluntarily transforms people deeper than fear ever could. And maybe that's the tension I wrestle with most, not whether influence exists, but whether influence can remain ethical once it understands human psychology too well. Because every prophet, every poet, every movement eventually faces the same terrifying realization. Words don't just describe reality,
They shape it. And once you understand that,
You become responsible
for every sentence you release into the world.